Well, it's another warm, sunny day here at PFDAuto. Finally got all the bolts that I need and everything for the oil pan. So we're going to pop the oil pan off, clean off all the old funk off the block, get that oil pump installed finally, goo up the pan with some Honda Bond, slap it back on there, and hope that that's the last time we have to take it off for a while. So, all cleaned up. Next step, you take these posts out. They do not work with the new oil pan. There's one on both sides. So I'm going to do that before I even worry about the oil pump or the windage tray, because these got to come out. My plan is to double nut this thing. It's what I'm hoping. Clean that off. So I found a nut. Should screw on nicely. Then I've got the old one. Now, if I tighten that up against the other one, what should happen is I should be able to rotate this out. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we're definitely going to give it a shot here. So we got one tightened up against the other one now. We should be able to spin the old one out. No, that just undid my bolt. Did not loosen anything. All right, well, we're going to give this a shot. We'll see how it goes. Let you know how we make out. I'm back. I was able to get these out of the block, both of them. Turns out the hard part isn't really spinning it out. It's getting the two nuts apart after you pulled one so you can do the next one. I just grabbed a pair of pliers. I'm not worried about these threads. Grabbed onto them, both wrenches, pull the nuts off. Then you can go to the other side. It actually only took me 2 tries on the first one. I don't know why I turned the camera off. But these are out. We're moving on to the next step. I believe the next step is the windage tray, but I'm going to consult the instructions. And we'll get this pumping today, finally. Well, I might have got a little ahead of myself on thinking I'm putting the windage tray in because I never got this oil galley out. I did go pick up some tools that will hopefully help me get it out of there, but I have no idea if these are going to even fit. So like I said, everybody else had no problem. Drive a screw in there, pull the screw out, done deal. Mine wants to spin. And these hook tools aren't going to do nothing. I might have to end up drilling that out somehow, or stuffing something in there to hold it, because I can't get at this at all. All right, well, I'm going to get more tools and we'll see if we can get that out, because all of this is for naught if I can't get that out. If you don't replace this with a bolt, you get 0 oil pressure from what I understand, and yeah, that's just not going to work. So I'm going to figure this out. More wind. I grabbed an impact, little 3/8 impact, and I just drove that screw in there as far as I could get it. Then grab it with the old pliers, yank it out. So now I can put the bolt in, then I can put the pump in, then the windage tray, then the oil pan. All right, so that plug out, you gotta fill this hole. I did find, I believe it's an M12. It's a little long, but it screws all the way in there. That's exactly what we need. Everybody said put some Honda Bond on it. I know it's just RTV, but pulling this stuff off, if they used Honda Bond, that's all I'm ever using again, because this thing just won't let go. So I'm going to put a little Honda Bond on this guy and drive her home. I don't think this has to be super tight in here, so I'm going to give it the good and tight We're going to call that good. The next thing we have to do is not mess up our beautiful oil pump. I guess we do oil pump first, then windage tray. Got this all modified up and ready to go. Gonna have to get that out of the way. And figure out how this thing sits on here. Alright, well, I think installing the pump will help us do that. So, I don't exactly remember which bolts are which, but I did save them. We've got these two long guys. I've got a short one and a slightly shorter one. So I'm guessing it doesn't matter what side these long ones go on, because they're both the same length. Science. What I will have to work on is making sure I'm on the chain pump before I get the pump all the way installed. Probably gonna have to pull that tensioner. Might make my life a lot easier. Or maybe it just might fit. That almost seems too slack. I'm not sure how much slack's supposed to be in there. I've got my guide loosely installed. That sure is just flopping around. Well, maybe we'll install these bolts here. Nope. Nope. So now I got a long one and a short one. This side of the housing is a lot longer. So that one goes there. One goes here. I gotta find one for there. I'm a little concerned about this. That just doesn't seem right. So I just went and got socket to pull this. Well, I thought I did. Apparently I have misplaced that one, which is awful because I 100% need it. All right. Well, I'm gonna find that because I at least want this tension to be the same looseness all the way around. That just... Oh, I wonder, it's this tensioner. Okay, so all this is right. There's another tensioner that goes right there. I forgot all about that one. That said, we're going to go ahead and install it. I forgot I took two tensioners off. New to this Honda stuff. I really don't know much about it at all. Now the question is, what bolt am I supposed to use back here? Got these windage tray bolts. They're not long enough. So we'll have to find something that works with those guys. I think the torque spec on these is like 8 foot-pounds, which is about like that. Ain't going nowhere. Hopefully I didn't just wang my new pump here. Yeah, I hope I still have this tensioner. I'm sure I do somewhere. Now I need to find a bolt that fits here, and I need to figure out how this windage tray fits on here. Maybe if I get on this side I can see it. I'm about certain I cut this the right way. Okay. That lines up with some holes. And the other nice thing is I can continue moving forward here real quick because it does not get in the way of the bolt I need to put in for the oil pump. All right. Well, turns out the head on my bolt, it's too big for the windage tray to sit flush. It's too tall. And I Honda bonded it on there, and it's not gonna fit around. That one is threaded too. Did I put it in the wrong hole? And this one's supposed to line up there. I guess I better look at my video real quick and make sure it's not supposed to be in that hole. All right. Fun times. So, as it turns out, everybody on the internet was right. It's 12, and it goes into the hole next to the 14 I put on. And now the windage tray fits fine. So, continue on with the windage tray. Then we'll find this bolt. Then, we can goo up the pan and put it back on, which is going to be a challenge because it's just me. And without those pins, there's really nothing to line it up. So I'm just going to have to be real careful. But right now, I'm going to try again to just get this buttoned up. Start putting the bolts in. Looks like we have some success. So I'm going to get the rest of those bolts, get them put in, then I'll bring it back when I find the right bolt for here. So I went and pilfered bolts out of the old oil pump. Now these are the bolts. Get this out of the way. So now these are the bolts that came out of the original windage tray. This is the shortest bolt that comes out of the oil pump. There was one bolt in there, which has got a small sleeve on it, obviously a lot larger, but it fits perfect. Oh. But it fits perfect right here. I already tested this one out, and it threads all the way up in there. So that's about perfect. Now, I can put the rest of the bolts in the windage tray, which luckily there's exactly the right amount from the old setup to the new setup. So we'll get all these whipped in here real quick. There we go. Now, I believe it said that these are 8 pounds. So I'm going to bring them up tight. And then click. It seems about like 8 pounds. I might grab the torque wrench just because I don't need bolts falling out of the oiling system. If you've got an engine stand, I strongly suggest using it instead. A lot safer and a lot easier. Have this upside down. Clean everything off real nice. All right, I'm gonna go grab the torque wrench. Just give these all a once over. We should be good. Windage tray installed. All the bolts torqued down. And got this little guy here. I'm going to double check these ones, but I'm pretty sure they're good to go. And the tensioner that I forgot existed. I probably should have replaced this, but it looks pretty good. It doesn't look abnormally worn or anything like that. So we're just going to reinstall it here. And should give us the tension that we need on that chain that I thought was way too loose, because it absolutely was way too loose. All right, so I got trigger wheel back on. I definitely need to get these two tightened back up. This is still a little bit loose. Then I think I will probably do the oil pan first. We'll just wait to do the final torque on everything until we get timing cover back on. But our Type S pump is installed for the most part. I'm going to get everything tightened up, and then we'll start working on the pan.